D2DNY, Real World HVAC Simplified. And this is a nice day in New York City. But today, that's the World Trade Center. Today, I'm going to be diagnosing, troubleshooting a space heating furnace. Okay, so that is a space heating furnace. All right, so let's get into it. So there it is. It is a gas-fired space heater, gas-fired furnace space heater. Let me zoom in so you can see there. That's your ignition controller right there. That's your gas valve. Camera focus on my finger, but that's gas valve right there. And there, right there, is your fan motor. Okay. So let's get it fired up. Let's get it turned on and begin troubleshooting. So before we start troubleshooting, we are going to need some tools. So I'm going to grab this one here, like that, and I'm going to need some extensions. Okay. Not sure I'm going to need my meter. This right here for certain. Okay. Need my extension. Some extensions, and this video is for beginners and pros. I don't recommend do-it-yourselfers when it comes to heating furnaces, gas-fired, or even oil-fired, because this is dangerous stuff. You know, you got to be a pro. You have to know what you're doing. All right, so let's get my tools together, and then fire this thing up. Okay. I think this is all I need to do the troubleshooting, diagnostics. My screwdriver, a little small channel lock, pliers, my home meter or tester, and one of my favorite tool. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put the system to heat. I'm going to bring this temperature all the way up. Okay, so you can hear it. Okay, so as you could see, as you heard, it was sparking. It was sparking, but it didn't get a chance to ignite. Perhaps it's a flame sensor issue. We'll find out. So I'm going to be using this lift right here to take me up. Yeah, so see if I could work this thing. I think. And I say up we go. So we got stardust trying to ignite, but you could see the flame light right here. No flame. So I think we kind of know where to look right now, because we got spark. For certainly you can hear the spark loud and clear. Okay. So it's going to be either a gas valve issue. If not the gas valve, if the gas valve is good, then we're going to have to look into flame sensor. But based on experience, I would say that more than likely the flame sensor is the issue. So I'm going to open up the furnace right here, over the bottom, couple screws right here, get it open and get in there. Stay tuned. So I went ahead and disconnected the MV from the gas valve. Okay, and that's basically the main solenoid in the gas valve. So the reason why I do that is that I'm going to uninstall this right here, the pilot assembly, and I have a video on replacing the pilot assembly, and I'm gonna leave the link in the description. Okay, check down there. So I'm gonna remove this while it's out. I'm going to fire it up, reset the ignition control module. I'm gonna reset it and then see if I'm getting any flames on the pilot, right? So stay tuned. Oh, so the reason why I have the main valve disconnected is that I don't want, while this thing is out and in my hand, the sensor finally decides to read the flames and then open the nozzles. That could be really bad, right? So the main valve is disconnected. Only the pilot valve, which is this little tube right here, is connected. Stay tuned. Okay, so here it is. And I can see some problems here already. Already I can see some issues. You see that plug connection, that orange plug connection, this right here. See how it's brittled and broken? It's falling apart. So this wire, I would say, is the first problem or sign of a problem. And yeah, this is a flame sensor right here. I mean, igniter. It's an igniter right here. It's a probe, but it's coupled, has a flame sensor. Once it's finished sparking, once it sparks, so it's coupled as a flame sensor and an igniter. Pretty simple. All right, but you can see how it's corroded a bit. Camera focus, and the piece where it this part right here, you know, but the corrosion's on there. So let's go ahead and give it a try, right? Let's go ahead and I'm going to put the wire back into the controller, the ignition controller, so it could spark and we can see what happened in real time. So I had TH, which is W, unplugged, so I'm going to put it back on. And remember, I have the main valve disconnected, MV. Okay. Oh, that's good. Look at that. It worked. How about that? So I think all we need to do here is clean it up, right? Clean it up, you know, get a brush, get a wire brush, clean it up. But I would still replace this wire. Okay, that's where it came from. Now remember, this video is for pros and possible beginners, not for do-it-yourselfers. Don't you dare try this at home. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off and get my wire brush. Okay, right over there. There's a toolbox. Yeah, so guys, I think I pretty much have the diagnostic. I think it's the faulty wire. Faulty wire from the that orange wire Yeah, the connection is faulty. So by me removing it, you know, obviously the wire is shaking. So maybe it made good connection or better connection. But I think that's pretty much where the problem lied. So let's grab my wire brush. And yeah, I'm going to clean it up for now. But for definitely, I think I'm going to go ahead and just replace that old ignition control module. All right, stay tuned. Actually, correction, not the ignition control module. Ignition module is fine. The pilot assembly. Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and replace even though I'm cleaning it up right now, more than likely, I'll get them some temporary heating in the space. But my recommendation was gonna be to replace that entire pilot assembly. And if you want to see me replace a pilot assembly and a furnace, or so it's a boiler, gas-fired boiler, check the description. I'm going to leave the link to that video down there. This will do the trick. Okay, so there it is. I cleaned it up. If you remember, it looked before. So I got it all brushed, cleaned up. All right, so it's almost good as new. The tip of the igniter right there, and the piece that's connected to ground, disconnected to ground, so you have high voltage right here. I could talk probably about 2,000 or 3,000 volts. Maybe even more, maybe 4,000 volts. But it's high voltage at low amps. And so, you know, this is ground. And the spark mix between the gap in between. But look, there's the wire. I even cleaned this part too. The wire disconnected. Look at that, right? It's not looking too good, guys. So yeah, okay, so I'm gonna put it back together. Give it a test. Stay tuned. Now remember, I have the main gas valve solenoid disconnected. Very important. Okay, there's a wire right here dangling. Make sure it doesn't touches anything ground or, you know, in the metal. Make sure it stays free. You can put some tape in that to be safe. All right. If it touches the ground, it's going to be a short, electric short. So I'm going to go ahead and reconnect this here. Okay. Ooh. Like magic. Okay. So, with that said, I'm going to reinstall this back into here and do a final test. Stay tuned. Okay, YouTube. So I went ahead and put everything back in, but it started acting up. As you can see, I'm in fault right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and replace the entire, you know, assembly as discussed, as explained. All right, so the moment I reinstall it, there it is, reinstalled. It started acting up again, so I'm just gonna go ahead and replace it, entire pallet assembly. Now again, if you want to see a video of me doing that, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you hadn't subscribed, subscribe. Videos uploaded on a weekly basis.